the International Hotel. And for the start of our show, here is Joe Curcio and the International.
Hello, everyone.
Aye.
It's happening.
Train I ride, 16 coaches on. Well, that long black train got my baby dog. Woo! Train, coming on round the bend. Well, it's taking my baby, it ain't gonna do it again. I'm the king of the jungle, they call me the tiger. I'm the king of the jungle, they call me the tiger. Well, if you cross my path, you take your own life in your hand. Well, I get up on a mountain and I call my back end. Well, I get up on a mountain and I call my back end. My back end comes a running and the hound dogs, they get way back, way back, way back. Get on there. Well, I get up on a mountain and I call my mountain. Well, I get up on a mountain and I call my mountain. My mountain comes a running and the hound dog, they get way back, way back, way back.
Wow. Hey, everybody out there in the Elvis Nation. My name is Brent.
And Leon.
And this week we have something very special cooking, don't we, Leon?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to go start to finish right through Elvis's opening show from the 10th of August 1970. And only one song from this, one and a bit song, should I say, was featured in the original That's the Way It Is movie. So we're going to see an awful lot of That's the Way It Is outtakes tonight. And we're going to see 8 songs that Elvis will perform for the very first time. And one of those he will perform for the one time only. So it's going to be a great show.
And then afterwards, stay after where Leon and I will do a cappella versions of each song.
And that's to make everybody
That's to clear the room. That's because we can't have people sticking around too long after. But on a serious note, though, one of our viewers who has been such a loyal friend of the channel, who has always been a source of just brimming encouragement for me, Carol. You might have seen me do some of her requests before. She's battling some health issues, so I want to dedicate this to her because she's always been that angel on my shoulder whispering encouragement. So Carol, my friend, this is for you. And so Leon, what are we opening with here?
Well, we're going to open with, as Elvis did throughout this whole engagement, with That's All Right, with That's All Right. And, of course, what we just seen beforehand there was the opening credits from the original That's the Way It Is movie. which included some footage from the show that we're about to see. Of course, you heard Mystery Train and Tiger Man in there, and that is a massively edited version. So although it's a little bit of a spoiler as to what's to come up, it's not a massive spoiler because you'll get the full package in a minute or two. So that's it.
Ready?
Elvis comes onto the stage now and starts with That's All Right.
All right, let's do it.
Well, that's all right, mama. That's all right with you. That's all right, mama. Just any way you do it, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right, now, mama. Any way you do it. Well, mama, she done told me. Papa done told me too. Son, that gal you fooling with, she ain't no good for you. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, now, mama. That's all right. That's all right now, mama. Any way you do. Well, that's all right now, mama. Any way you do.
Oh my God, Leon. Oh my God. I mean, that, you know, there's that first moment, just seeing him like there, that is just so legendary. It's like, man, you know what? After all these years later, do you still get like that spine tingling thing going on when you see that?
Every time.
Oh.
Every time.
I mean, it's just, and that the way they lit that part where he went out right there with a little bit of the light bouncing off of his like silhouetted figure.
Yeah. Look at the nerves. You can see the nerves in his face there.
And you know what? He's having that look like he's still, you know, we're so used to him being established in the 70s with all this, but this was still like a new frontier to him to a degree.
You can see the video footage kind of go dark and light and dark and light there.
Yeah.
The reason for that is I tried to keep as much of it in HD as possible, but unfortunately in the 2001 re-edited version of it, they filmed an awful lot of it with audience shots. So I got rid of them and used the original 1970 footage to try and... You'd rather see Elvis than the audience.
I mean, just him with that guitar. I mean, you know what? I mean, you could just feel the raw nerve. Like, this isn't him just recreating like a 50s Elvis. This is like the undiscovered country, you know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting that he's using that song because it's kind of bringing in the old with the new, you know what I mean? Like, he's on a new pilgrimage into his artistry, but, you know, because he was only, for a year since 69. This is still early in the game for him. But boy, is he in top form.
This is his third Las Vegas engagement. It's his third opening night. So for the first season, he opened the show with blue suede shoes.
Yep.
And then for the second engagement, he used All Shook Up. And now he's got That's All Right, and he'll use this for almost 2 years as he's opened before. In 72 he finally settles and uses CC Rider permanently until 1977.
Oh, definitely. I mean, just a sheer pleasure to watch. So now we're going to go into...
before we do that, Brent, sorry,
yeah.
can I just add one more wee thing before we do that?
Yes.
I think this is... You'll like this, a wee bit of trivia here. This is the very first... If you imagine that the TCB band is James Burton, John Wilkinson on rhythm guitar, Glenn Hardin on piano, Ronnie Tutt, God bless him, on drums, and Charlie Hodge and Elvis himself. So if you take that as being the core TCB band, then this is the very first time they've ever played on stage together, is what you've just seen. Remember, Ronnie Tutt was missing in 1970. Glenn
wasn't there yet.
In 1969.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that they've played on stage in live together. Obviously, you saw the stage rehearsal when they were all together.
I'm glad you told me after that, though, Leon, because I would have never guessed. Because I go, boy, do they already seem like a well-oiled machine kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've had plenty of rehearsals. Obviously. Well, if you think about it, there's only been one member missing at each. But this is the first time they've all been together. And now you can say it's been the TCB band since day one, but this is the first time with the names that have rhymed off. Because if you ask somebody who's the TCB band, that's the names that you'll rhyme off.
Yeah.
So that's the first time they all played together.
Right, but what I was saying was, they played with the proficiency of a band that would have been together for 25 years doing this.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't sense one, because sometimes even among the best players, even though they have a new person in, you would have never guessed that, but this incarnation, man, this is just awesome. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the second offering. This is Mystery Train and Tiger Man. You ready?
Yep, let's go.
Let's do it.
Thank you. Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Well, that long black train got my baby and dog. Woo! Train, feel like Johnny Cash, man. Coming on, round the bend. Train, coming on, round the bend. Well, it's taking my baby, it ain't gonna do it again. I'm the king of the jungle, they call me the tiger.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the International. This is my third visit here. Hello, you big mother. So, see you put that in the film. Let's see, what was I talking about? This is Gatorade, in case anybody's interested. Looks like it's already been used, but... Any port in a storm, they say, man, you know. I know what I'm going to do next, Charlie. Quit telling me the title of the song, man. See, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, MGM is making a movie here. So don't let the cameras bother you. Big monsters, man.
Wow, I mean that just Leon, what do you really say about that? I mean that's pure adrenaline.
Well, do you know, as good as this is, I prefer the version from the 12th of August Midnight Show, where Elvis is. I think there's a little bit of nerves in there.
Yeah, you heard his voice crack at one point.
Yeah, and I think by the 12th of August, the Midnight Show, which is that fabulous show, and obviously we're going to do that again in quite soon. But I think that he was more relaxed that night, and I mean that is not to say this is still a fabulous version.
Well, right, it's comparing great to even greater.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, when Elvis introduced this into his set list in 1969. And it was how raw, and it was very raw and edgy, and it still is to a certain extent, but as the years would go on, that raw edginess would start to kind of dissipate a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but here it's still, I mean, it's right on the edge even here.
Yeah, and two, what also, I never thought about this before, but how can you sit there, move around, sing, have total control of the audience, pick up the guitar, play it a little, and hand it back?
it's pure focus.
Leon, I almost screwed up saying that, nevertheless doing that, you know?
Absolutely. And can I just give a wee shout out to Dylan there, because Dylan asked a question there when we were playing That's All Right. Dylan asked why Elvis only wore that suit once during the filming of That's the Way It Is. And the reason for that is that Elvis had an agreement with the director, Dennis Sanders, that he would wear that show on opening night. He would wear his conscious suit during the dinner shows, and he would wear his chain suit during the midnight shows. That way there could be some continuity, and then on the 13th of August dinner show he would just wear whatever else suit he wanted to. So that's why you only wore that suit on opening night, because that was the agreement they had with the production team of That's the Way It Is.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, though, what you said earlier. Not that this is not amazing in and of itself, but to imagine that there's actually a better version.
Oh, honest, the 12th of August Midnight Show version is just, that's just
I remember.
Of Midnight to me.
Yeah, no, you're right. Oh, man, I mean, it's just... Awesome. You know, and especially, like, I don't know about you, but, like, I felt like a little bit of the case of the goosebumps when he said they're filming this and stuff, and I'm going, this is a sacred moment in history. You know?
Yeah.
It just...
A bit of humour there.
This is my third visit here. Hello, you big mother.
It's still...
It's just so on the edge.
Yeah.
Put that in the film.
And you know, the best it is, we'll get to see this again, because this comes into the start of the next video that we have. So we'll get to see this again.
If anybody's interested. Looks like it's already been used, but... Any port in a storm, they say, man, you know.
It's funny how after that, he feels entitled to joke where I would need a nap after having just done what he did.
What was I saying?
Yeah, I think that's him. I think that's him collecting his thoughts as well. Apart from anything else, I think.
Oh
That's
yeah, you catch your breath. You're able to gather. You're right. You get your bearings. Because he's a human being. He's not a robot. He has to. And I think. Yet he plays it off cool though, doesn't he? Though.
Yeah. Can I just come back to Dylan again? Because I'm just looking at the thing. So Dylan's asked, did Elvis have no say on the suits? No, he did. But once he had the discussions with the director, then that's what he decided that they were going to do. So after that, Elvis was always true to his word, and just stuck to the three suits the four suits during the filming of the movie itself.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And you know what? I will say this. I'll give a shout out to Dylan. Anytime I watch a video now, I'm paying way big attention to the jumpsuits. It's like in my head now. I can't get it out. I'm going, I wonder what Dylan thinks of this one. I wonder what. And I'm telling you what, he's kind of opened a whole new world, because I think a lot of people that never really zeroed in on that aspect. And when I can't wait till season 2 resumes, because we're going to be going through 73 and beyond, and I can't wait. So we are now going to go to the next track here, and this is "I Can't Stop Loving You."
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
So we get to see this bit again.
Welcome to the International. This is my third visit here. Hello, you big mother.
It still makes me laugh each time. Like it's the first time I've heard it.
So you put that in the film. So let's see, what was I talking about? This is Gatorade, in case anybody's interested. Looks like it's already been used, but... Any port in a storm, they say, man,
Just in case anybody's named it out, Gatorade's yellow.
I know what I'm going to do next, John. Go tell me the title of the song, man. See, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, MGM is making a movie here. So don't let the cameras bother you. Big monsters, man.
Well, I can't stop loving you. I said I made up my mind to live in memory of such a lonely time. I can't stop wanting you. I said it's useless to say. So I'll just live my life, dreams of yesterday. Those happy hours, yeah, that we once knew. They're so long ago, they still make me blue. They say it heals a broken heart. Oh, yes, it does now. But time has twisted since we've been apart. And I can't stop loving you. I said I made up my mind to live in memory of such a lonely time. And I can't stop wanting you. I said it's useless to say. So I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday.
I got it with a chord, man,
Her day.
Oh my God. Leon, what did we just watch?
Wow. Well, do you know, I've heard many other artists, many other singers sing "I Can't Stop Loving You," and it just seems so bland and easy listening style. But Elvis just makes it into almost a rock and roll roar. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it's almost like Frankenstein or something, where everybody else just does the dead body parts, but Elvis puts the lab together, puts electricity into it, and it's alive. It's alive.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. The ones in 1969 were even edgier than that, and that's saying something. But this was what the first of twice that Elvis would perform it while the cameras were rolling, and then in 2001, in the re-edited version of the movie, they decided to go with the second of the two, which was the one from the 11th of August dinner show, which is just as good as that. There's very little between the two, but personally, I would rather have seen some more from this show, because there was nothing else apart from That's All Right used. So this has all been unused footage. So I would rather have seen something from this show.
That one part in the middle where they do a change up, where Ronnie just really, the drums are just, it's thunderous. There's a transition. You know what I'm talking about? It's coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow. And I think that's what happened since the passing of Ronnie. I'm really zeroing in on the drums of everything I'm listening to right now. I mean, this is just perfection. I mean, this is...
Oh, it is.
I'm telling you what, everybody out there in the nation, no matter what you have going on with your life, no matter what, I'm telling you how you can just go and lock yourself in with this timeless energy, this righteous holy fire energy. It could lift that smile any day. It turn that frown upside down. You know, it is.
It's just fabulous.
Yeah, and not only that, but you know what? It's funny because I think like the first time I'm really zeroing in on the music, but the second time I'm also zeroing in on the music, but I'm really focusing on like the body language and stuff, and how Elvis is one of those few performers that you could turn the sound down and you're going to be just as entertained just watching it.
Yeah.
He's very cool to watch. Like,
yeah.
I mean, just... I mean, like, look at that. I mean, that is just it. I still don't think there's really anything like that today. Not really on that level. You know what I mean? There are some animated performers, but to really kind of sear everyone's consciousness, that kind of holy fire burn, it feels so great to be anointed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We are so lucky.
Absolutely.
Well, and we're going to go on now to Love Me Tender. So you ready, Leon?
Yeah, let's go.
I did a movie about when I was a baby, 2 or 3 years old, called Love Me Tender. And, there's a song went like this. That's really this little thing playing. You don't believe it, but it is. Love me tender, love me true, never let me go. You have made my nose turn blue, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, good evening. All my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Come get it, baby. Love me tender, love me dear. Tell me.
No coronavirus then.
I'll be yours through all. I'll be
give him the back in a minute. Till the end of time. Love me tender, love me true. All my dreams, they just are fulfilled. For my darling, I love you. And I always thank you. Love me tender, love me dear. Hey, buddy, take me to your heart, for it's there that I belong. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, which is I love you, and I always will.
Well, I'll tell you right now, everybody, when Leon and I go on the Elvis Nation tour, we're not going to be kissing all you ladies out there. Leon's happily married, and I have cooties. So between the two of us, no. But in all seriousness, man, just how is it that like that? It's that saying always manages to find its way in, Leon. That guys wanted to be Elvis, and women wanted to be with Elvis.
Yeah,
and it's those moments there where that kind of axiom is just kind of just
stardom. Stardom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what do you know? What the funny thing is, this and look at Love Me Tender here, and I just noticed, and I'm going to link this to something that Mark just said on the message board there. This is the last of any major hits that Elvis will perform in this show, and Mark said that he would have been disappointed had he been in the audience that night, because there was no, after this it was almost all new songs. And I get where he's coming from on this, and I kind of agree with him that had you been in the show expecting to hear some hits and you don't hear anymore. But I would qualify that slightly by saying that this is essentially an invited audience that's in here tonight, full of celebrities, high rollers, etc, etc. So I think it's not a completely Elvis orientated audience during this show, and I think that's maybe why the setup of the show, the set list is as it was, because from the second show onwards the hits started to filter back in again.
Well, when you think about it, though, when you usually go and see a concert of an established act, they usually like maybe open with an old song, then they'll kind of go into a couple new ones, and they'll go a bunch of new stuff, and then they usually round it out at the end with a bunch of nostalgia tracks and stuff. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of interesting that they do it reverse. This is getting the quote unquote classic stuff out of the way or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely right. But this is also quite. There's another difference in this, because in shows after this, Love Me Tender would get longer and longer and longer, whereas this is just under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas you'd be talking about 5 and 6 minutes for the next few shows.
Still just never ceases to be amazing, and you just. I don't know. There's just such a magnetic presence. You know what I mean? It's sort of like you could have seen this 10 million times, and there's still something that captures your imagination. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how many movies or people or songs or things can you say that about? I was watching you, like when he was joking around, you were laughing like it was the first time you've ever heard him do that. Even though I know if anybody has heard this, it's been you. Okay. But isn't that kind of a testament, though, to how every time it feels like the first time? I hate to quote I think Foreigner song or something, but absolutely. And even though I know it's coming, I still know that I'm going to laugh, even though I know it's coming. Yeah. Even when we just replayed that's the ending, how it led into the beginning of the next video, the mother thing. I like it's as if I never heard that, and yet even though I knew it was coming. Mm-hmm. And it just sucker punches you right there. Yeah. And, and like I said before we dive into the next song, one of my things, and some might agree with me, some might not, is I think Elvis was so charismatic that had he lived, he could have gone on like a speaking tour of like a night with Elvis Presley, no music, and people would have been just as entertained.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely.
Big time, man.
At all.
And
so I think you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat next, because now we move on to the first of the 8 new songs to be introduced in this show.
Oh, okay. So this is called The Next Step Is Love, and let's dive into it.
Yesterday has slipped away. The sun is welcome in the evening shadows of a perfect day. And the next step is love. Next step is love. We've walked barefoot through the misty meadows, laughing at each other in the rain. Made some faces at some people in the park and didn't bother to explain. Fun, look at us run, going nowhere special really fast. But we've yet to taste the icing on the cake that we've been baking with the past. 'Cause the next step is love. What are we waiting for? Yeah, the next step is love. Girl, it's for sure. Yesterday has slipped away. The sun is a welcome in the evening shadow of a perfect day. And the next step is love. Next step is love. Love will be a place to run to from the world. They will to you and me. We'll be closer than we've ever been. Though looking back, it's so hard to believe. Hanging on out, we're bringing on in the best we picked up on the way to now. Changes are coming, but together we can make it through somehow. 'Cause the next step is love. So what are we waiting for? Yeah, the next step is love. Girl, it's for sure. Yesterday shadow of a perfect day, and the next step is love. The next step is love. Yes, it's love. Yes, girl, it's love. Yes, it's love. Yes, girl, it's love.
Oh, Leon, what
so,
the?
What do you think?
Oh my God! Okay, first of all, this sounded like the instrumentation wise, it sounded like so many of like the soul records that you would hear like in 72, 73, and 74. So they were right at the forefront of that sound. You hear James Brent with that wow, 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 which is such an emblematic guitar sound of that time period. But like, okay, I'm going to turn up here for a second. Listen to how Ronnie, it's a subtle thing, but it's such a steady beat, and it's really adding to Elvis's voice. It's subtle, but it's driving it. And I thought, so that it had that blue-eyed soul kind of thing that Elvis could do, which, again, he's not a one-trick pony. He's like an 18 million trick pony. And not only that, but like Blue-Eyed Soul at its best. I mean, and yet it's funny because like a lot of soul songs kind of have an edge to it. This has an edge, but there's also like an endearing melody to it. I liked it. What did Leon think?
No. Okay. First of all, let me say, the RCA master of this is my ringtone on my phone. And it has been for a long, long time. Now, I adore that. But I don't think this works. Probably because I've heard the master and I've heard the edit. I think the arrangement is, compared to the master, is a bit more awkward. I don't think Elvis is at ease with this song at all compared to the master, and I think this is the reason that was the only time he ever performed it live. Now,
that's what I was gonna say, but you cut me off. I was just about to say that. No, I'm joking.
Now, what this means now, and I was thinking about this as you were talking there, when you come back from your vacation, you're going to have the first take to the master of The Next Step Is Love waiting for you, and then you can decide for yourself what you think.
Yes, and I will update my take, because you understand if this is like my only exposure to it. Now, I'll have a whole different set of eyes and ears though once I do first take to the master of that.
You might feel that this works, but what's interesting is when the 7th of August stage rehearsal version stuck to the same Glenn Spreen arrangement as the RCA master, but when they finally took it onto stage for opening night, they changed it slightly. And you'll see in the master there's a kind of brass in the background that they don't use on stage, and in the RCA master, Elvis is singing almost as if he's horizontal. It's so effortless, whereas this feels, compared to that, a little bit.
Okay, well, I'll have to freeze my judgment on that until I get the whole picture.
Absolutely.
I'm getting a snapshot of the composition. So to these virgin ears, I liked it, but
But that's not. I'm not saying it's bad by any matter of means, but I think Elvis obviously felt that as well, because he never did it again. That was the only time.
Then why did you just instant message me just now and say, Brent, you have no idea what you're talking about? Come on, man, that's not cool.
You missed the expletives I put in there. but I have to say, I think that, as I say, that it's on the original That's the Way It Is album. It's the last studio cut on the album. It's the second last one. Bridge Over Troubled Waters, the final track on it. And I just think that the studio master is just head and shoulders above this, and I think that's maybe where my the way I'm seeing it. But we'll wait until you've done the first take to the master, and then you can give your view on the whole picture of it.
Reminding you guys, he liked the last farewell master. Just put that into perspective. I'm joking. So this doesn't mean you're right on this one either. No. In all seriousness, though, but you're right, Leon. I mean, which I probably should have done that. I probably should have heard that track before that, because sometimes when you go in this and this is your first time hearing that song, period. Yeah. So if I'm thinking, if I like this, then I'm probably going to most likely be blown away by first track to master version.
You see, nobody got to hear or see this live version of this song unless you were in the audience until about 2003. 2003.
So he never did this again after that.
No. And the audio was never released until That's a special edition came out. The 3-disc special edition. So even fans hadn't heard the live version of it. So all we ever had was the RC master we'd never heard, but you've heard it sort of back to front. You've heard the live version before you've heard the RCA master.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see till you've had the first take.
Now my brain gears are going. I can't wait for that, man. I really cannot wait for that. For anybody out there, I'm going to take this chance to plug the series that Leon has on his channel. Go to the Ultimate Elvis channel by Leon. I'll have a link to it. You could search it, because I encourage anyone, if you're ever going to sit back and enjoy one of the presentations we did, highly encourage you to watch Leon's version first. Like I said, remember, I didn't have a complete picture with this. Well, when you listen to our First Take to Master specials, if you watch Leon's original source material version first, it's going to feel like so much more of a fuller picture. And I've been doing that lately, listening, like going back on some of the ones we did, then going re-listening to yours in the opposite order, of course, because I have to react to it. But it just an amazing collection of stuff, and you have playlists for it, Leon. I mean, just tons of stuff. So, all right. So, wow. And let me just see what we got here. Oh my God, one of my favorite songs coming up, man. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for it. Are you guys out there ready for words? I am. Let's do it.
Bring you near to me. Don't ever let me find you gone, 'cause that could bring a tear to me. Good evening. This world has lost its glory. Let's start a brand new story now, my love. Right now, there'll be no other time, and I can show you all my love. Talk an everlasting word and dedicate them all to me. And I will give you all my life. It's here if you should call to me. You think that I don't even mean a single word I say.
I'll let Leon go first with his thoughts, because I don't want to talk my way into a trap.
No, this is the second last time that Elvis would perform Words live. The 12th of August Midnight Show being the last time, and I think that the 12th of August Midnight Show version is just slightly better than this one. Not that this is a bad version at all, but I just think, and it might be something to do.
There's a little extra oomph to it, though.
Yeah, I think that's true for that entire show, because there was something unique in the room that night, that 12th of August Midnight Show. But I know you like that call and response to the Sweets, don't you?
Man, you're not kidding. And you know what? I noticed, though, there was I don't know, maybe I was just more tuned into it, but when he changed the verse where it was like, da, 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 there was a lot of power with these transitions. Da, like, you know, but the backing vocal arrangements, just heavenly, blissful, man. And you know, I guess, Leon, maybe culture was different back then, but I don't know, people are just watching him like they're just looking at a newscast on the TV, and I'm thinking, you're at an Elvis show. I would be like, you know, and they're just like sitting there like they're waxwork statues or something, you know.
But again, I'll remind you, this is opening night. It's mostly invited guests,
and celebrities.
So
I know, but I would have at least as a cameraman said, act excited or you're not getting on film.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but I understand. Like, and two, there's another thing too, Leon, that we don't consider. We're no longer residing in the supper club era.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was a whole different vibe than an arena concert. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, many people prefer the 1969 version, the 1969 versions of Words, and which is, and let's be honest, all opinions are valid. None have to be humble, and none are absolute. But I think that Elvis obviously wasn't satisfied with the 69 version, because the very first thing that you hear Elvis say in the original That's the Way It Is movie is about the rehearsal that they're doing on Words at that point, is that they couldn't get the ending right. So I think maybe as good as the next 69 versions are, I think Elvis himself wasn't quite satisfied. The 69 versions are amazing, don't get me wrong. But I think personally the 12th of August Midnight Show is the top of the tree of all the versions of Words there. And he only performed it, 6 times live. So or 6 known versions, I should say. But that's I think the 12th of August Midnight Show just edges everything else out just slightly.
Yeah, and I am with you on that. And, you know, and let me just put it out to people again. This is all friendly debate sometimes when we kind of go on different treks. We're not Siskel and Ebert, you know, like reviewing movies, thumbs up or thumbs down, you know, and then fighting to the bloody death over who's right. But I do like that. I like healthy debate because other people bring different perspectives to the table. When you guys get on the comment section and I hear you guys, I always see this, Leon. Oh, this is my favorite version. And one person goes, oh, this isn't my favorite version.
Do you know what? The thing is as well, Brent, I've mentioned the 12th of August Midnight Show about, half a dozen times already. And I'm sure I'll mention it about 3 times as much. And it's no secret that it's my favourite Elvis show of all time. But I just want to tell everybody, and I noticed that Mark's made a comment about the songs that Elvis performed in the show that night, and he's absolutely right. But I just want to let everybody know that we're going to go through as live streams each of the 6 That's the Way It shows in order. So we are going to get, although we did a presentation of that, we didn't do it together. We've done it kind of the way a lot of duets are done.
And let's forget about that one. It doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. So it'll be like the first time we've done it. So we're going to get to that. So this is show 1, that's show 5. So we will get there. So
or I could do it. You know, Leon, though, I can do a nod to our old way, and I'll just read what you wrote with my dumb narration voice, and those are cringeworthy, man. Those were like.
It's not your reading that's the cringe, it's the fact that the way that I've written it, because I've written it as it's in my head, and you've got to think that's not how you write something for somebody else to read it out. which is why I'm actually enjoying this, because I'm actually getting to say the stuff off the top of my head as it comes out, and it's actually hopefully it's coming out that people can understand what I'm saying.
No, yeah, and you know what I will say, doing our special here compared to if we just did it recorded, it feels a little more organic to me. I'm not putting down any of our pre-recorded stuff, but there is something that you're capturing something in the wild or something. You know what I mean? And this is in real time, except for like the 5-second delay or whatever, you know? So that way, in case Leon and I go on a swearing rampage, it'll just be edited out. And we got so many FCC fines, it's not funny, which those of you in England, Europe, UK, wherever you be, FCC is like, they control everything that's said over the airwaves and stuff. But all right, so what we're going to do now, Leon, is we're now going to go to, okay, you had one of my favorite songs, and I'm going to ask you guys all to type in, because next is one of Leon's top Elvis songs, and I want to see how well you know Leon, so type in what you think the title's going to be, everybody.
Well, I'll give a couple of wee clues. First one being the second of the first time ever performed live. It's a song which featured prominently in the original That's the Way It Is movie, and it's the first song that we'll present tonight where there's no video, because Dennis Sanders, the director, decided to turn the camera off at this point. So
Wow.
Of course, a lot of people out there will know, like me, they'll know the set list and the running order of this show off by heart. So,
All right, everybody. This one goes out to Leon, and now I'll reveal the sacred title. And I just did a reaction to that recently for Leon's birthday. It's just one of the most amazing songs. It's one of my top favorites too. So it's just amazing. So let's hear what.
B.J. Thomas has out a beautiful song. I'd like to sing it for you now. I just can't help believing when she smiles up soft and gentle with a touch of misty morning and a promise of tomorrow in her eyes. And I just can't help believing when she's lying close beside me and my heart beats with the rhythm of her sighs. This time the girl is gonna stay. This time the girl is gonna stay for more than just a day. Well, I just can't help believing when she slips her hand in my hand and it feels so small and helpless that my fingers fold around it like a glove. I just can't help believing when she's whispering her magic and her tears are shining honey sweet with love. This time the girl is gonna stay. This time the girl is gonna stay for more than just a day. More than just a day. Yeah, baby.
Oh, I just can't help believing.
Sing the song.
Oh, I just can't help believing.
Yeah.
Oh, I just can't help believing. Oh, I just can't help believing.
For more than just a day. Yeah. I just can't help believing when she puts her hand in my hand and it feels so small and helpless that my fingers fold around it like a glove. Yeah. I just can't help believing when she's whispering her magic and her tears are shining honey sweet with love. This time the girl is gonna stay.
This time the girl is gonna stay.
This time the girl is gonna stay for more than just a day.
Oh, I just can't help believing. Oh, I just can't help believing. Oh, I just can't help believing. Oh, I just can't help believing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is the air conditioner off in here, man? Is it hot in here to anybody besides me? I'll be up in the balcony in just a second. Just hang loose up here. Thank you. Yes, I would love to use it. There's a lot of people here tonight that I'd like to say hello to, but I really can't thank you enough for coming in to see the show. Excuse me while I drink a little Wawa. Grown man saying Wawa.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
That's our producer of the show.
Oh my God.
So that's a voice box
BJ
that he's
Thomas
got
has that
at the,
beautiful
Yeah.
song.
beside Charlie Hodge there. So that's what that was.
No,
there.
this was before Frampton made that popular, the voice box. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just, well, Leon, I'm going to tell you, man, I thought it was amazing.
Do you know? So you've got, if you imagine that you've got 6 shows filmed by MGM.
Yeah.
They were doing main production over 6 shows, and Elvis performed the song 5 times over those 6 shows. Twice abbreviated versions where he didn't repeat the second verse again. But this version is, I think you can hear some of the nerves now. You've never seen the That's the Way It Is movie. You've said that yourself. You've never seen the That's the Way It Is
No,
movie.
because I want to react to every bit of it before I do.
No, I agree. But what I'll say is, during that movie, Elvis makes it clear that he can't get the words completely into his head, and he's really, really scared that he's going to forget the words to it. So they're talking off stage in the dressing room, and he's making sure that he's going through it. Oh, I'm really scared I'm going to forget the words to it. And then just before they go on stage, he turns around to Charlie Hodge and I make sure that he's got the words on the stool there so they can have them. And if you remember, I think we've done the RCA Master version of that, you actually see Elvis actually has the lyrics in his hand. So I think you can hear some of the nerves in that version that we've just heard. However, the second version, which is the following evening's dinner show, which is the RCA Live Master, is just absolute perfection. It's one of those instances where everything comes together. The orchestra, Elvis's vocal, everything just comes together perfectly. And do you know, it would take a lot of artists 1,000 takes in the studio to get that perfection. Elvis does it on stage live in one take, and it's just fabulous.
So would you look at what we just heard as like the precursor to that grand experience, kind of?
Absolutely. Do you know what? There's a few in this show like that. Funnily enough, there's a few songs in this show like that. And Helen and Richard there were both saying in the comments there that this is the song that made them Elvis fans, and I have to agree with them. They're both absolute. I'm absolutely the same, and it's got to be right. Do you know, we've also started a bit of a debate, Brent. we've actually got caused a bit of debate going there about the Las Vegas audiences because of what you said about the lack of reaction there, and there's quite a lot of the comments that have been made, and Mark's made something that's absolutely true, and that it's essentially a crowd who would see Elvis on tour is completely different from a Vegas crowd. I mean, I always the way I look at a Vegas crowd is they come in, they fold their arms and say, right, we've paid the money, now entertain me. And
that's why I was saying it's very different. A supper club atmosphere is very different from an arena show atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I would say a midnight show is slightly different.
Yeah, you can get a little more ribald in your in a humor.
Elvis he hated the dinner shows. Absolutely hated the dinner shows with a passion. But the midnight shows, I think, were a completely different different animal.
Actually, I'm going to throw a wrench in the works here. When people were saying that, they didn't play as much of the hits or whatever after that, in a weird way, if you look at it from this point of view, in the order that they played the songs, and if you look at the chronological recording dates of the original songs, it's showing an evolution of Elvis. I mean, he's getting up there with some early stuff, and now he's going into some more complex numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
I see it as almost like an evolutionary climb in a way of his artistry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean,
But granted, I know we were talking more about what the audience was
well,
expecting.
I'll tell you what, when you, I think you've actually hit the nail on the head, because when you see what's still to come, I think your words will be proven to be quite true, Brent, when you see what's still to come.
And you know what? That like has a Halley's Comet frequency, so pay attention to this, because I'm not right a lot. So when I am locking in on it, because God, if Leon tells you you're okay, you're good on your assessment, I'll go, oh God, that's like a papal blessing or something. It's like, yes, thank you, Leon. All right, guys, we're gonna roll on to the next hour. This is, of course, covering the Beatles, which I've stated in the past unequivocally, even though I'm a big Beatles fan, that Elvis took a good song and made it exceptionally great. So we'll see what he does with on this version here.
Thank you very much.
First time performed live.
First time?
Is the air
Okay.
conditioner off in here, man? Is it hot in here to anybody besides me? I'll be up in the balcony in just a second. Just hang loose up here. Thank you. Yes, I would love to use your There's a lot of people here tonight that I'd like to say hello to, but I really can't thank you enough for coming in to see the show. Excuse me while I drink a little Wawa. Grown man saying Wawa. That's our producer of the show. The Beatles songbook, ladies and gentlemen. Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way she woos me. Don't want to leave her now. No, I believe in how. Something in the way she smiles. I don't need no other lover. Something in her style that shows me don't want to leave her now. You know I believe in how. If you're asking me will my love grow, I don't know. I don't know. You stick around and it may show. I don't know. I don't know. Something in the way she moves. I don't need no other lover. Something in her style that shows me I don't want to leave her now. You know I believe in how.
So,
Wow. Well, first of all, they in later versions he repeated the bridge again.
mm-hmm.
Did you notice that? Like, and I always like that instead of taking the guitar solo, he used the other bridge. And guys, I am so embarrassed to do this right now. My dog is in here with me, and she wants to go out, so I'm going to let her out the door. I'll be right back, though. This is like what happens with streaming. Come on, girl.
I'd like to say hello to, but I really can't thank you enough for coming in to see the show.
This is Nutmeg, by the way. Wave hi to everybody.
Well, Brent's away. I'll just say to Gordon and Mark, they were saying about the footage being shot. I agree with Gordon, and I also agree with Mark to a certain extent as well. I think that in hindsight, we'd love to have all 6 shows to have been recorded in their entirety. But of course, as you say, Gordon, the material and the film then would have been far more expensive. And I think Dennis Sanders knew from the start that he was only going to need about 45 minutes of footage for the concert segment, and that's probably why he turned the camera off, because he probably knew that Elvis was going to record certain songs at more than one show. So that's probably why the camera was turned off. But wouldn't it have been great if it'd been in digital and we could have all six of these shows that we could watch in their entirety? I was just saying there, Brent, I was just having a mentioning why I think the cameras might have been turned off at certain points in the show, because the director would have obviously, with tape, had been quite expensive, only needing 45 minutes of footage for the movie itself, and you're going to have 6 hours of footage essentially.
That was one of the downsides before the digital revolution. And it was interesting, just to let you guys all know that once this ends, YouTube not only saves the video that we're performing on here, but it saves all your comments as well. Because what's happening is I'm taking care of all the tech and making sure all the scenes do it. Leon's kind of being more of the eyes and the ears of the chat. So I don't want anybody to think I'm just blowing you guys off going, forget, I'm just watching this. Let Leon... No, we each have our own duties. But I'll tell you what I loved about how Elvis, I thought the idea of, instead of doing the Beatles guitar solo, instead adding later on another bridge was brilliant. I just thought, and I'm telling you guys, it's hard for me to do that. Oh, and I'll also give a shout out to Mark. I'm telling you what, guys, this is a personal thing, and I don't mean to interrupt the presentation, but my soundtrack for the fall season is always Mark Rogers, the voice of college football. If you know anyone out there, do a favor for me and steer them towards Mark Rogers, the voice of college football. The best analysis, hands down. This is not a paid endorsement. This is coming from the heart. Just one of my favorite things to listen to. And I love that we have such a diverse community. But but as far as like this going on, I just, what did you think about the performance itself, Leon? It sounded like when they went into the instrumental part to the bridge, it sounded like the band was off for a second or something. Am I right? Or it just sounded very different for some reason.
I think it's maybe something to do with it's the first time performed live. I actually like the 1970 versions, and there's we'll hear another one. I think it's the next show, and I prefer these versions. I think it got a little bit overproduced on stage. The Aloha version to me is awful. I don't like, and I think it's too early in the show. Elvis performs at the third song into the Aloha show, and I think nerves have really got a grip of him, and I really don't think he delivers the song well in Aloha at all. And I much prefer these 1970 versions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it's funny too, because that's why I think it's a good time to point people towards on Leon's channel, the live comparison series, because we're hearing these isolated right now. Mm-hmm. But when you hear like different live versions together, I thought when we did 2 of the live comparison things that we did, Leon, that I thought had the most healthiest debate within the people in the comment section. Bridge Over Troubled Water and American Trilogy. It was just a sheer pleasure reading through what everybody had to say. Everybody almost had a different favorite version, but it is interesting when you hear all those versions. And so you're getting more of a complete shot, because then you could say, I just listened to this 2 seconds ago. This one feels like it's missing something, where it's hard if it's been like 6 months since you heard the other version to pinpoint those things.
Do you know, well, funnily enough, just about every song that we've covered so far in up to now, there is an entry in the live comparison series. The only one I don't think there is one for yet is That's All Right and Love Me Tender. I think that's the only two that we've done so far. Something is volume 29. So if you want to hear 7 different versions of Something and then compare them, then go and listen to that. It's volume 29 of the live comparison series, and it includes the Aloha versions in there as well.
I'm telling you what, guys, you go and watch all those things, because by the time that Leon and I get around to them, you're going to already kind of have more of a fuller picture in your head. I'm telling you, it's the way to do it. And I'm not doing that to say load up on binge our stuff, but I'm telling you, that is the best way to do it. And because I don't have the privilege of doing that because I can't hear it, because I have to react to it. And so anytime Leon posts something like, I just uploaded this, I go, thanks a lot. I got to wait 3 months for this. While everybody else is saying how great it is. I feel like the kid at the party who can't have cake or something.
Do you know, that works both ways, because quite often you'll post up a standalone reaction, and I'm thinking, right, I was just about to send you a first take to the master of that, so I now have to put it back 4 weeks.
I know, I've been doing that with requests lately. Like, don't send me anything soundtrack-ish, because Leon and I are going to go through it. And then I figure, you know what? Now that I'm doing the live streaming on Thursdays, I go, screw it. I go, you know what? Some of these are going to be third-time reactions, because they throw these fresh reactions to me, but they're not good enough to film as the official reaction. Yeah. And so I'm just going to be like Michelle, like, I don't care if I've heard this 1,000 times. It's just, I just. Why should you? But I'm telling you what, and she just put up a couple great ones over the weekend. And so between Leon, my channel, Leon's channel, and Michelle's channel, I tell everyone out there, if you want your perfect introduction into the education of Elvis Aaron Presley, I think those 3 channels, and they're different enough from each other to where they kind of take on different aspects. There's way more than enough to navigate from. So that's our little mid presentation plug.
Before we go to the next song, can I just run to the bathroom?
You know what? You've been good, so I'm going to say yes.
I put my hand up and ask permission. I've still got my earphones in, so you can keep talking amongst yourselves.
Okay. Yes. So now here, it's funny. I love that little background, because he has from the thumbnail of his Elvis thing in the background. But you know, I'm going to actually take the second to go and look in the because I don't get to look at the chat module. So I want to kind of say hi to some of you guys individually, if you're okay with that. Let me just go in there. Okay, so hi, Gary, Susie, Brandon, Dolores. This sounds like an Elvis Nation roll call. Gordon here, Helen, Vicky, how are you doing today? And Joe, we got Mark Rogers in the house. We got John, Helen. I feel like I'm doing the Mickey Mouse Club, then, Helen, Vicky, oh God, Richard, who is always says Vicky at the end of it or something. Sarah, how you doing? And God, we got everybody here, and this is just so great. And and I have fun after these things are done, because I get to go and read the chat logs, and there's just so much good conversation. I like it that it's just not like Brent and Leon being talking heads, that you guys are being active participants and not mere spectators. So I just think that's just a beautiful thing, So now in this point in the presentation, we are going to move on to a song when I originally reacted to a live version on one of our old specials. I was really worried because I don't know what it is. Neil Diamond is big time talented, but yet for some reason I never liked him. I don't. It's not personal, and I go, oh God, Leon sent me Sweet Caroline. What am I gonna do? And when I heard it, it was like a religious experience because it's almost like they took ground chuck and turned it into filet mignon or something. And I like, this is great. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Sweet Caroline, audio only, and let's do it.
Where it began, I can't begin to know when, but then I know it's growing strong. Oh, was in the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Oh, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Oh, I've been inclined to believe they never would. And now I look at the night, and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, hurting runs off my shoulder. How can I hurt when holding you? Oh, warm, touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Oh, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Oh, I've been inclined to believe they never would. Oh, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Oh, I've been inclined to believe they never. Thank you.
Wow, Leon, what'd you think?
Not as good as the 12th of August Midnight Show version, and not as good as the January, February 1970 versions either. I think it's you could lump it in with a lot of the stuff from this show, where maybe a little bit of nerves been opening night. But I think that this is probably, of the night, all the 1970 versions, I think this is probably the. And I don't like using the word worst because that brings up an image of something.
The least fabulous.
Yeah, I think that's the way of looking at it. Absolutely.
Because,
absolutely.
But you know what? I will say this though, and I can't have the other versions clear in my head right now. But like, listen to this for a second as the build-up happens. Let's listen to Ronnie's drumming here, right before they're about to take off here. Just focus on the drumming, phase out everything else. Can you feel that though? And I do like the way Elvis breaks in here, like. So, Leon, what way would you say it was like better in the other versions? Like, is there any like, is it an overall thing, or is it, or is anything you can pinpoint?
Brent, I think his vocal delivery is better, but and I think it's nerves. I just think his vocal delivery is better. The arrangement's a bit barer when I see Bearer, I think it feels a bit more fuller in this August 1970 than it might just be the way it's mic'd. The very first live version, and I don't want to spoil it because I know you've not covered this yet, Elvis tries to stick to the original Neil Diamond kind of arrangement, and they can't get the ending right. And if you remember when we did Elvis's first live performance of Burning Love and they couldn't get it finished, it's something similar to that in that first live version. And then I think Elvis decided to throw that away and go with his own sort of arrangement to it. So I think it's just the vocal delivery more than anything else, because I mean, just 2 days, the 12th, 2 days later, he's back and gets it absolutely perfect again. But remember, it's funny you should mention Ronnie, because remember, this is the first time that Ronnie's played in Sweet Caroline live. This is Ronnie's first performance of Sweet Caroline on stage, because remember he was absent in January, February 1970. So this is his first attempt at it live, and as you say, he absolutely nails it. And
he really does. And you know what? I was thinking this, Leon, like if you said there were different people brought in, it wasn't quote unquote an Elvis crowd. I think if you just view this as like they would in Broadway, it's a dry run. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's the first performance, it's still, they're finding their footing. You know what I mean? It's because people in theater do dry runs all the time. And, you know, where it'll be like for the family and friends of the cast and other journalists and stuff. And so I think you got to kind of put a lot of that into context. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt.
I mean, because, you know, in a lot of things I'm hearing, it's to the naked ear. You know what I mean? I'm sure that's why I think what I'm going to do, though, is maybe a year and a half from now or 2 years, I'm going to go back and do like a second wave of reactions compared to my first and feel like, do I like it better now than I did before? Do I, you know, because multiple listens does that.
Oh, it does.
You start refining it and you start hearing things. So, you know, when I say it sounds great, there's a chance I might hear another version and go, okay, this was good, but this other one is stratosphere land, you know?
Of course.
And so it's still just an amazing thing. And so we're now going to move on to You've Lost That Love and Feeling.
And this will be the fourth of the 8 new songs.
Okay, fourth of the 8? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, everybody.
You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips. There's no tenderness like before in your fingertips. You're trying hard not to show it. Baby, baby, I know it. You lost that love and feeling. Oh, that love and feeling. You lost that love and feeling. Now it's gone. Whoa. There's no tenderness in your eyes when I reach out for you. Girl, you're starting to criticize every little thing that I do. It makes me just feel like crying. 'Cause baby, something beautiful's dying. You lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. You lost that love and feeling. Now it's gone, gone. I get down on my knees for you. This suit wasn't too tight. If you would only love me like you used to do. We had love, a love you don't find every day. Don't take it away. Listen to me talking to me, baby. Bring back that love feeling. Oh, that love feeling. Bring back that love feeling. Now it's gone, gone, and I can't go on. Whoa. Whoa.
Was it me, Leon, or were the backing vocals just arranged mic'd perfectly?
Nothing wrong with the backing vocals whatsoever in that. Absolutely superb. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So Elvis, Righteous Brothers version. Is Elvis' version faster than the Righteous Brothers version? Is that a faster tempo?
Oh God, you're asking. I'm not a human metronome. I'm so bad at this. I will take my best shot at this. I'm picturing the original version in my head. It almost sounds like it's exactly the same.
Right, okay. It was a loaded question. I asked it deliberately. The Righteous Brothers version is actually quite a considerably faster tempo than that.
Seriously?
But the way Elvis sings it and the way it's arranged, it feels almost at the same pace or faster. But it's actually it's actually quite slow. It's Elvis's vocal delivery and that kind of power vocal that he uses in it, which makes it feel faster. So, with that in mind, and bearing in mind that this is the first live performance of it, Elvis' rendition of this only gets better. The 12th of August Midnight Show version, remember the one that has the reprise on it?
Yeah.
That's the RCA Live Master. That's the best version.
Oh man, you're not kidding. Though this felt like it was kind of like you know how they develop a song and there are some outtakes before they finally get it to the master. This felt like they're still like exploring their way through the song. Like they're doing a great job at it, but they're still trying to find their way through this. And like you said, with the best version, it feels like the vision was finally fulfilled or something. Well,
I don't think you realise how spot on you are when it comes to this, because there's a spot in this rendition here where Elvis almost just forgets his place.
Mm-hmm.
Just coming up just a bit here. Just coming up just after here. I might have just missed it actually. But he just almost forgets his place, and then the second version, which they used in the That's the Way It Is movie, Elvis actually gets the lyrics wrong, and then in the 2001 version they correct it and they actually change it, digitally change it, so that mistake's actually been taken out.
Man.
So that's also backs up exactly what you've just said there about it almost being a progression.
Yeah, because there's that thing where like you're there, but you're not quite there yet. But it's still damn good. You're in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely.
Just push it a little bit more. Tweak these things here and there. I will tell you this though, I did feel like some of those rough patches, like you said, but I will say though, the part where he did the second part of the bridge, where the Sweet Inspirations were just. That arrangement was just killer. It was very clear. It was very. And I don't remember even hearing them that clear on the rehearsal version of this.
Yeah, I think you're right. And well, I was just going to say that because you and I had the privilege of watching the very first time Elvis performed that in when just remember he just came on stage and that it just went straight. And you remarked about how he went straight into it.
How he first of all he jumped off of the stage. You know, to run out there, came back on.
Yeah.
He's like talking, grabs the mic, and just flawlessly dives into it.
Just straight into it. And you got to remember, this is a song that Elvis never recorded in the studio. They only ever did it on stage.
Yeah. Yeah, it just, you know, and I think, too, that's another thing, Leon. I think that while we're all kind of, I call it like a light appraisal, you know, because we all have different thoughts and stuff. I think what it's going to be interesting, I'm trying to tell people to kind of hold off all judgment until we've run through all of these. And then start watching these together, you know what I mean? And saying, okay, because this is just the first one of these that we're doing, you know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot more insights as it progresses, you know, and that's why what I thought of doing lately is when I do like for the live comparison series, before I would kind of say it as I went along, what I liked and all that. But I think what I'm going to do after that, because don't forget, I'm on the camera. I know the camera eye is on me when I'm doing it. So what I said the other day when I was making notes to myself, because I always want to improve what I'm doing, is when I do the first take to master filming, or I'm sorry, the live comparison filming, go and do your reaction, but then go and watch the original source material again. And then for the epilogue of my video, come back and go, okay, I just went and re-listened to it. These are some, because sometimes, because you even said before, Brent, I thought you were going to chime in on that part and you just went went over your head like you didn't even move, and yet you go into this other part. And I think if I listen to it again and go like, you know, do a fade out and says, you know, after the second listen, then I come back in and say, this is kind of where I felt I listened to it again, maybe do a split screen of a couple of things. And, you know, because I think that's the thing when you listen to it the first time. And don't forget, you know, Leon, probably more so than most out there, has probably heard this more than anyone. And, you know, like okay, if you guys were to listen to some live Beatles stuff versus there, I would be able to pinpoint what I liked about that in the same way Leon does this. And that's because I listened to it over and over. I had time to do like an autopsy, you know, on it. And that's what Leon brings to the table, this trained ear. And I think, well, you know, it was funny, Leon. I was talking with someone the other day, and I said, well, you know, the Elvis novice. They go, you're no longer an Elvis novice. You're now the normal Elvis fan, and you got a few more things to learn. But you're in the right thing, yeah. And so I feel kind of good because I'm not wet behind the ears. Maybe I'm a 5th grade graduate now instead of the preschooler, and so. But yeah, just an amazing thing what we got going on so far. And now we're gonna. I'm sorry, Leon.
You're in for a treat now. So this is the first ever live rendition of Elvis doing "You Don't Have to Say You Love Me Now." The reason I mentioned this before we start. Think about how many times we've seen Elvis rehearse this when we've worked our way through the rehearsals. Every single stage, Elvis has rehearsed this, and it's been fantastic. So, you're really in for a treat here.
Oh yeah, and I'm telling you what, it's funny because we're talking about the set list and all that, and I think like with the hindsight gift. To me, this is actually because, you know, we have the ability to be fans of all of his eras of music. You know, what was new to them at the time is classic to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the set list to me is killing. It's awesome.
Well, I will say I've got quite a bit to say about this afterwards. And not necessarily about the performance that we're about to watch, but I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant after this. So just be prepared. Be prepared.
I got my seatbelt fastened.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for some killer music? I mean, I'm wrong to predict that, but I have a feeling 99.99% I'm just going to love it. So.
F minor, all diminished 5th, 7th, half, and 2/3. When I said I needed you said you would always stay. It wasn't me who changed, but you, and now you've gone away. But don't you know, and now you're gone, and I'm left here on my own. Now I have to follow you and beg you to come home. You don't have to say you love me, just be close at hand. You don't have to stay forever, I will understand. Believe me, get it, Sam. Believe me, I can't help but love you. But believe me, I'll never tie you down. Left alone, just a memory. Life seems dead and so unreal. All that's left is loneliness. There's nothing left to feel. You don't have to say you love me, just be close at hand. You don't have to stay forever, I will understand. Believe me, oh, believe me. Oh, you don't have to say you love me, just be close at hand. You don't have to stay forever, I will understand. Believe me, believe me, oh, believe me. What? Lord have mercy. Catch it, Sam. That's it, though. That's all I can do, man.
Oh man.
F minor.
Well, Leon.
Yeah. Well, first of all, two things I want to mention about that performance there. So you heard "Catch This, Sam," and you saw the toe tapping at the end, the tap dancing at the end. That's because Sammy Davis Jr. was in the audience, and that was a reference to him.
Yeah, and did you notice when he said that about the first time he was about to crack a grin, but he tried to stay in character?
Yeah.
And
So,
just awesome.
To start to finish, you thought, and I could tell by what you were saying there, absolutely magnificent rendition. Are we in agreement in that?
Oh, you're not kidding, man.
Okay, so the 2001 re-edited version of That's the Way It Is, which came out to the cinemas, and MGM spent a lot of money on and put a lot of stuff. So why did the producers of that not put this version in, but put one in from 2 days later when Elvis messes up the lyrics? Honestly, it defies belief. The problem with the 2001 version of That's the Way It is it's not what's in it, it's what was left out of it. It looks visually fantastic, it's in high definition, but they didn't put this version of You Don't Have to Say You Love Me in it. They put an inferior version in. They left out Bridge Over Troubled Water. They left out I Just Can't Help Believing. Honestly, it really makes my blood
That
boil
almost sounds
about,
criminal in some way.
Oh, well, Brent, what you'll need to do at some point is we'll have to review the two movies. Once we've done these 6 shows, then you've seen everything that's in it. We've done all the rehearsals. Then we can watch the two of them, and then you can give your thoughts on the original version and the 2001 version.
Yeah, and I it's fun about what I like about this. I said, we're really at the beginning of this exploration when you think about it, and it's only exciting things to come. And I don't know. I just think, Leon, that first of all, I noticed that when they broke into the song, the strings, they were very vibrant, very alive. It just had its own thing going on, and yet it was part of the cohesive package. And I just couldn't say enough things about, because what was running through my mind also is like going, okay, if Leon trashes this or something, I'm gonna give up, because this is freaking amazing. I said, so I'm looking for flaws. Like, okay, where did he screw up? Like, there's a part where even like his voice, almost like Greg, when he goes, you don't have to, like he gets like breathy and stuff. That's kind of raw, awesome grittiness there, and I just
fabulous.
loved it.
I have no complaint about this. This is my favourite Elvis live rendition of "You Don't Have to See Me." I just think it's fabulous, start to finish. Now, the one that they used in the 2001 version of that is not a bad version. In fact, it's a fabulous version. But the point is, Elvis messes up the lyrics. In this one, he doesn't. And this is a better version. It's a better version to start with.
Well, who had final say when they did the 2001?
Well, remember, whoever the producers were, or whoever the producer was of that. I mean, Dennis Sanders who was the director of the original, was no longer alive.
Yeah, he was
wasn't
gone,
him.
yeah.
I mean, the Lost Performances came out in 1992, which had a lot of the outtakes from That's the Way It Is that they had discovered. And I mean, one of the plus points was they included the live version of Just Pretend in it. But there is so much that they took out which they shouldn't have, and there's so much that they could have put in that they didn't. They seem to replace superior versions with inferior versions. They took out the original version of Heartbreak Hotel and replaced it with a version which wasn't as good. The I Can't Stop Loving You that they used, well, it's a toss up between the one and the one we saw earlier. But honestly, the fact that there's no Bridge Over Troubled Water and no I Just Can't Help Believing in the newest movie is reason enough for me to go on a...
No. I rank that just below Al Qaeda or something, like, as far as the evil of that. I mean, that's sinister almost. It's... man, now you got me turned off to that whole thing, because I mean, I'll still find some good in it, but that is just heartbreaking on like so many levels. That is like, because you know what, they do that all the time with different things. It's like, do you ever see that with a lot of musicians of a greatest hits album, but there's like one song that's always left off that should be on there, and you're like, do they talk with people who actually listen to this?
Well, let me put it this way. You imagine this. So we get in 1992, we get the Lost Performances, and Elvis had rehearsed it, and I think we kind of saw it when we did the convention centre rehearsal, where Elvis does almost Don't Cry Daddy and then goes into In the Ghetto. Mm-hmm. And that's the way he took it onto stage for the 13th of August midnight show. But that's the way they did it in that, is they cut Don't Cry Daddy out. So you've no real proper intro to In the Ghetto.
Yeah.
Although the intro's there, it's not like it's almost, you can almost just hear the very last couple of bars of Don't Cry Daddy.
Yeah.
And you know, and it just feels shoddy.
Yeah. I would always say that if you're going to do a film like that, why not have like an ultimate fan as like a consultant? Because sometimes it's the listeners more than the producers that know better of what they want to see and hear. And I get that all the time. Like, Brent, you need to go live more than record this stuff.
Sorry, Brent. I've just read a comment that Gordon made, and he's actually put a quote, and it said, "Producer extraordinaire Rick Schmeidlin has skillfully revamped the original Dennis Sanders 1970 That's the Way It Is production," and then put a massive laughing emoji at the end. At the end, And you know, you look at the message board now, it's just everybody saying that there's Helen saying, and quite rightly, it's criminal that I Just Can't Help Believing was left out the 2001 That's Who It Is. And I agree with Richard as well that Make the World Go Away. You just did, I think, did you not just do Make the World Go Away live a couple of weeks ago as a standalone? Yeah. And they left that out of the 2001 edit. And I don't understand why they did that. But see, that it doesn't take a lot to send me off on a rant about the 2001 version of That's the Way It Is. The original version had too many fan interviews. I can understand why they were in the original one, because it was to try. Elvis was just back a year into live performing again. It was to get the fans' reaction to that. I can understand that. But that was dated and was quite deserved to be taken out, the new one. But, you know, they took that out and it was still about 10 minutes shorter than the original movie. And they could have made it 2 hours long and put extra stuff in. And Gordon has said in the message board, was it anything to do with royalties? I don't think it was anything to do with royalties at all. And, you know, I heard, I think it might have been the producer, Rick Schmidlin, actually, who said that the reason that Bridge Over Troubled Water was left out. Now you know the version of Bridge Over Troubled Water that he trying to he's trying to justify it not being in the movie by saying that Elvis was out of tempo.
I'm not good with rhythm, and even I know that that's BS.
Oh, honestly, I mean, honestly, it doesn't take a lot to get.
Maybe they're out of tempo. You know what? If they decide to re-release this and do a 2022, 2023, I'm telling you right now, I'm putting this out there to the Elvis community. Boycott it if they do not hire on Leon as a consultant. I'm telling you, I will say screw you jerks because you talk to someone who knows what they're doing. Talk to someone who, it just doesn't take a genius, but oh my God, Leon, if they hired you on as a consultant, I would be like so jubilant.
But you know what else, Brent? And I don't want to go off on a massive big tangent about the 2001 edit of That's the Way It Is, but they did a good job visually on it. Honestly, they did. They restored the video fantastically. But then they go and put mono audio onto it.
Yeah, did you guys, for those of you out there, when I had Mark Rogers on the show, he talked about his experience with that movie, about his expectations and stuff like that with that. And
And but the biggest problem is that now when people, new Elvis fans see That's the Way It Is, now, I've told you before, and most people who know me know that it is the original Elvis That's the Way It Is movie that made me fall in love with Elvis. Even though my dad was a massive Elvis fan, still is, and that I've heard Elvis since I was probably in the womb, to be honest. But it was that film that made me fall in love with Elvis, made me become a fan. But now, new fans who see Elvis That's the Way It Is will see the 2001 version of the movie. They won't see the original one.
You know, I think if they're already on that trajectory of going downhill, the next version will probably have interspersed footage of the Elvis Chapel in Vegas or something, and having impersonators marry people or something cut in with Elvis footage. I mean, if you're already butchering it, why don't you just make it a total shitstorm or something? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that, Leon. I don't. This is kind of depressing me, man. This is like,
It's all right. We'll go back up again.
Yeah, we will.
So
well,
I just have to give it. Gordon's his reply with when I said about Bridge Over Troubled Water, and he said in that case the producer was out of his mind with another laughing emoji, and he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
Yeah, I think I got turned down from working on the new version because my IQ was too high, and just. I never got rejected because of that, but the reissue people just didn't like it. So, all right, we're going to dive back into some music. That was kind of a very good running commentary, Leon. Heavy, but very good.
I did warn you beforehand.
Yes, you did. I said my seatbelt was fastened, no whiplash. I'm good. And but you actually gave me a lot to think about. And so now the next one. Oh man, Leon, are you ready for this one?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you know it, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Poke Salad Annie.
We're going to get dirty on you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Back. It ain't started yet, fool. Wait a minute. Oh. Okay. Yeah, Lord. Some of y'all never been down south too much. I'm gonna tell you a little story so that you'll understand what I'm talking about. Down there we have a plant that grows out in the woods and the fields, and it looks something like a turnip green. Everybody calls it poke salad. That's poke salad. Used to know a girl lived down there, and she'd go out in the evenings and pick her a mess of it, carry it home and cook it for supper, because that's about all they had to eat. But they did all right. Down in Louisiana, where the alligators grow so mean, there lived a girl that I I swear to the world, made the alligators look tame. Old Sally Danny. Everybody said it was a shame, 'cause her mama was working on the chain gang. A mean, vicious, straight razor told mother. Lord have mercy. Every day before supper time, she'd go down by the truck patch and pick her a mess of poke salad and carry it home in a toast salad, Annie. You got your granny. Everybody said it was a shame, y'all, 'cause her mama was working on the chain gang. Ho! You sock a little poke salad time. No one need me a mess of. Feel like an old stripper, man. Her daddy was lazy and no count. Claimed he had a bad back. Her others were fit for stealing watermelons out of my truck. Saturday, Annie. You got your granny. Everybody said it was a shame, y'all, 'cause her mama was working on a chain gang. You suck a little pork salad. You know I need a meal. Suck a little.
Oh my God. That wasn't a song, that was a ride. That was a supersonic jolt into the outer cosmos, man. Oh God.
But remember, this is almost 2 minutes. This is almost 2 minutes shorter than most of the versions that it would perform.
You know, I felt that. I felt that during that.
Yeah.
I'm going, it's done already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's, he would see where he kind of finished. He would jump, stop, and then the band would start up again, and he would go into that bit again.
Yeah.
Whereas in that version, he just didn't showstop all the way.
You know, though, what did you think from what you did see?
Oh, it's a showstopper. Absolutely fabulous.
It's almost like, you know, he was doing some great performances up there, but then it just like, it stepped into this deeper territory. You got more of a sense of Elvis's bluesiness, his just almost like musical form of hell raising, just taking the audience. I can only imagine what it'd be like if you were sitting there.
Oh, Jerry Schiff's bass as well, just driving it.
Yes. And you know, how many times too, like, that's a thing about like Jerry's with the bass all the time. How many times can you say it where the bass is just as much of a driving force, a killer thing to listen to as the lead and all that? Because a lot of normal musicians, the bass is just reserved for the background to keep time and to keep structure.
Sure.
But here the bass it's three-dimensional bass.
And if you think about it, when we did the Ronnie Tutt tribute last week, this is a prime example of where Ronnie had to watch Elvis and do his job.
And you know what? Did you feel at this point, though, Elvis actually seems more into his element now than he even did in the previous performances that we watched tonight?
Yeah.
Is that just me, or do you feel that he's kind of more in tune with himself here than, not that he wasn't before, but...
You mean as in earlier in the show, or
in the show? Yeah, because you...
I think the nerves are gone now.
Yeah, that's what I got, because I feel like he's tapped into something. Like that. Yeah.
I think You Don't Have to See You Love Me was probably the first real performance in the show where the nerves were completely gone, and I think now he's completely relaxed and immersed in the show.
Yeah, because I felt like he tapped into something. He was entering a whole different realm of consciousness. Yeah, I mean, you could just tell. It's like, because, okay, as great as he was in some of the other songs that we just did, he was still like very aware of the audience. He was still very aware of every movement he was making. Here, he just let those shackles
Oh, absolutely,
go.
no doubt.
And I mean, you know, like I'm going to turn that. Okay, guys, I know, I don't know. Some people might find this annoying when I do this. I'm going to turn it completely down. How many performers can you just watch in silence and still say, what a majestic presence? What?
Such stage charisma.
Yes. I once I made up this quote. So if you ever heard it, it came from me. But Elvis is one of the only musicians I could see really like, and I'm not being flippant or anything, but that deaf people could enjoy, because you could enjoy Elvis without the listening component.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a thrill. I mean, he just occupies this like magnetism and the sphere of just, it's just like a triumph visually, you know? I mean, just look at that. I'm not even the one doing it, and I'm like, I gotta catch my breath. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just his alacrity and all that. I mean, just an amazing presence, and I don't know. They broke the mold after that one, didn't they, Leon?
Oh, absolutely. No, there's no. But if you want an argument, you'll have to change the subject.
Oh man! And now what we're gonna do here is, this is the part of the show where Elvis takes a little break, and we're gonna get to meet the band.
Yeah,
So
just relax and listen.
yep.
Before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the members of my group. This is the members of my group. Listen. First of all, the gentlemen that opened our show tonight, my favorite quartet, ladies and gentlemen, the Four Freshmen. Now, the Imperials, ladies and gentlemen. Imperials.
Get it up to them.
And these young, yeah. Other than that, it's okay. These young ladies really live with their name, ladies and gentlemen, the Sweet Inspirations. Girls. The young lady in the back, whose beautiful high voice that you've been hearing, she's been recording records with me for like 13 years. It's the first time we've ever worked together on stage. I could say hello to Millie Kirkham. Millie? Hi. My favorite guitar player on lead guitar, ladies and gentlemen, James Burton. James. My least favorite guitar player on rhythm, John Wilkinson, ladies and gentlemen. My drummer, very fine, Ronnie Tutt.
God bless you, Ronnie.
God, man.
On the Fender bass is Jerry Schiff. So that's Tutt, Schiff, any way you look at it. Tutt, Schiff, put it together, you know. The young man on piano over here, he also arranged a lot of the songs for me tonight. His name is Glenn Harden. Glenn? Excuse me. Gatorade. And the young man, old man, whatever he is here, he sings harmony with me on these songs, ladies and gentlemen. His name is Kate Smith. Kate? Charlie Hodge. Charlie? Our orchestra and conductor, ladies and gentlemen, he's a very fine man. His name is Mr. Joe Grisho. Joe? Over there. There you go. A very fine Joe Grisho orchestra. Hold it a second. Joe Grisho Orchestra. Right. Look pretty fancy tonight. The timpani drummer is Eddie Graham. Ready?
Wow, you know what? Like I said, I could listen to Elvis just introduce people all night. I would pay admission just to see him read the telephone book or something, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just,
Do you know, it's quite funny that you hear that Elvis introduced Millie Kirkham there. So Millie had worked with Elvis in the studio, and had done his soprano on most of the records in the 60s. And then when he went into Vegas in '69, he had Cissy Houston as his soprano. She was a member of the Sweet Inspirations at the time, and she left at the end of that. So they had no proper soprano in January, February 1970. And then Elvis asked Millie Kirkham to come in for the first fortnight or so of this engagement, and then after that she left, and then Cathy Westmoreland came in and stayed until the very end. So a lot of people think perhaps that Cathy Westmoreland was there from the start, but Millie Kirkham, at Elvis's request, was there for the filming of That's the Way It Is, and she's the one that gives that beautiful soprano when you hear the live version of Just Pretend.
Just amazing stuff. And well, Leon, we are really about to kind of go into like the home stretch here. We got now this next song, I've Lost You, and I can't wait till we dive into that. Yeah, so let's do it, everybody. Elvis Aaron Presley, I've Lost You.
My new record, it just came out about a week and a half ago, ladies and gentlemen. You got it by yourself, Glenn. Lying by your side, I watch you sleeping, and in your face, the sweetness of a child, murmuring a dream you won't recapture, though it will haunt the corners of your mind. When summer turns to autumn, and who can point the moment love grows cold? Softly without pain, the joy is over. Oh, why is gone? We neither of us know. Oh, I've lost you, yes, I've lost you. I can't reach you anymore. We ought to talk it over now, but reason can't stand in for feeling old. Chill and sullen gray of morn, we play the parts that we have learned to well. Oh, I've lost you, yes, I've lost you. I can't reach you anymore. We ought to talk it over now, but reason can't stand in for feeling. One more time.
You know, Leon, one thing that really stuck out, first of all, there's a lot of transitions in that song, slow to fast, slow to fast. I can only imagine it must have been a challenge for the talent, but you know what really stuck out? And sometimes it depends on the way they're mic'd, but Glenn's piano.
Oh, fabulous.
What an arrangement. And it's so vibrant here.
Yeah. Yeah, if you remember, Elvis did a shout out at the very start. You got it yourself, Glenn. right at the very start, he said, "You've got it yourself, Glenn."
This, and this is, like it says, everybody, this was the first time ever performed live.
Yeah.
So what do you think for a first time performance, Leon?
Fabulous. There's one instance where Elvis forgets the words. You just hear it. I think it's going into the final verse, or he misses the spot when to come in. But if you imagine this being the dress rehearsal, the second live version became the live master.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which in itself is a magnificent version.
Yeah.
I think for a first version, it's very, 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 very good. But it's very different from the studio master. For a start, there's a when Elvis sings the chorus the first time, it's almost like the lyrics are completely different. It's almost like another verse instead. Which one of the first rehearsals that he did, they used the original version, and then they changed it to this, where they just repeat the same part of the chorus once, second time twice, and then the final time 3 times.
Yeah, I just think whoever did this set list, like I said, I think some people are going to think of it differently because they're going from the mindset of the time. But if you're going from the mindset of right now, who's had the whole overview of his career, I think this is just such an amazingly awesome set list put together.
Oh,
it hits different notes. It hits different. It has a flow to it. It doesn't. It's just a beautifully put together package. And
well, do you know, I think you'll find that over the 6 shows, you'll find that that's a running theme. That the set lists, the core of the set lists are the same for the 6 shows. But there are major tweaks in between. There are songs that come in for the first time or the only time. There are songs which come out and maybe don't come in again for a couple of shows later. That some of the 50s hits come in and come and go. So there is a variation between the 6 shows, but like songs like Bridge Over Troubled Water, That's All Right, Polk Saladani, they're all the way through.
Well, you know what I was planning to do? I'm going to actually poll everybody right now because I don't know if this is musical blasphemy or not, but I found an app that actually takes studio songs and make them sound live. And I want to put together a fake concert of Elvis from 67 live or something, where some of his movie hits and stuff, what they would have sounded like live. I don't know if people would think that would be cool or not. I mean, it's a fun fantasy thing, but I don't know. Is that stepping on holy ground or something? Or
I'm seeing absolutely nothing.
That doesn't reassure me, Leon.
Well, put it this way: to use a phrase from your part of the world, I'm going to take the 5th on that.
Okay, I won't broadcast it, but for my own amusement, I'll do it though. Do you know what I mean? Because I remember when Mark Rogers was my guest once, he was saying how he would have loved to have heard more 60s live shows, because there were some great songs from that will never get that treatment. And
of course.
So it's fantasy, of course, but so no, I'm going to release it on CD. Everybody will be available on the 18th at record stores near you. I'm just kidding.
Oh, do you know what? Funnily enough, I was thinking earlier today, and I wonder what the reaction would be if we were to do a review of one of the Royal Philharmonic albums, album with Elvis. And I'm going, I can't believe I even had that thought even into my head.
Well, when I was first starting out, someone did that. It was on my old channel. I don't have the video anymore, but can you do Burning Love? And I'm going, well, I heard it before, but I'll do it. And the link they gave me was that And okay, I'm gonna kind of give you an impression of what the comment said. I love this song, like the original better. Screw you, asshole, for playing this.
But you know what?
That's what someone actually said to me, and I'm like, I didn't know.
I can believe. Listen, when it comes to the RPO stuff, I can honestly believe it. I really can.
I laughed. I go. I didn't mean to piss on an Indian burial ground or anything here, but
and I'm going to sound a little bit of a hypocrite here, but what I do tend to do is when I'm doing a first take to the master, is I will include the Royal Philharmonic version at the end for reasons of completeness, not because I like it, because it's not all about me, what I like when I make the first take to the master. Because if you're going to get the complete picture, then you should get the complete picture.
Well, are those considered canon?
I wouldn't say so, but it's always nice to have it at the end so people can realise how absurd and awful the idea was.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because I was brand new to this at the time, and this is the link they gave me, and I'm thinking, well, and I said, I felt like almost like throwing the other person under the bus. Like, oh, don't yell at me, yell at J Elvis Lover 3128 or whatever, whoever sent it to me, and I'm thinking I had nothing to do with this. It was just what was sent to me. I'm sorry, and I felt like I had to make an act of contrition or something.
I mean, I mean, if you can imagine a song like I Just Can't Help Believing, right?
Yeah.
Redone with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, it just, honestly, I can't. I've got my. I'm going to. I'll end up in another ranty.
Wait, the next time we see Leon, he has a straitjacket on. He goes, "They just pushed me one song too far," and we're broadcasting from the Rubber Room, and you like have a long beard and long hair, you know, and you're like, I'm ready to forgive them.
But the thing is, and the cynic in me says that the RPO stuff, it wasn't aimed at the Elvis fans. It was aimed at the general public to try and get them more into Elvis again. But that in itself, I don't agree, because I think Elvis's music stands well on its own without having all that added to it, I think. And if you think about when we were talking about The Last Farewell just a couple of weeks ago there, and you said that was over-orchestrated, you imagine putting the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra on top of something like Anything That's Part of You.
Yeah.
A song that we did as a first take to the master. And the essence of that song is that the bare arrangement and Elvis's vocal delivery, and then you smother it in all that schmaltzy strings and
if that's how you feel about that, I can only imagine what you're going to say about Ernie Kowalski and his polka troubadours doing the Elvis catalog. It just there is no such. No, actually, there is there's a large Polish community in Detroit, and I remember hearing a story once that there was a polka band that covered Elvis songs, and I'm thinking, for a laugh maybe, but don't. I don't know. It's like. It would just sound weird, especially because I think what it is, if you want to take Neil Diamond, Rod Stewart, and have fun with it, go with it. Elvis, to me, is special territory or something. Such a sacred body of work. And speaking of sacred, man. Here we go, man. You guys.
Your very first live rendition.
You might want to get something to drink. Because
now, before you start, I think that this is a benefit because there's no video to this. But I remember you saying a couple of months back that sometimes having the video can be a little bit distracting when you're listening to a song. So I think in that case with this, it's a blessing because you can just close your eyes.
I said it the other way around. I said sometimes it's an advantage when you don't have the video distracting you. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So with this, you can just close your eyes and you can just listen without knowing that you're not missing any video.
You're right, because I think what happened is we become so hyper sensitive, because we just see way too much stimulation and all that. Where when you think about people in the golden age of radio or something, there was part of your imagination that kicked in with what you were hearing. And Elvis really does know how to set a mood. So when you kind of have Elvis enter the theater of your mind with no visual hindrance, I'm telling you what, man, everybody right now, close your eyes because this is going to be awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will cry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when time gets rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God. How many of you had your eyes closed through that? Be honest now. I did.
Well, oh. Wow.
That was what man. Lay it on me, Leon. What are you thinking right now?
I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that for the first time ever performed live, I think that's quite remarkable.
Yeah, and of course, we could have almost put a disclaimer that of course it's not going to be what it seems like. There's one or two versions. When we did the live comparison, seemed like one or two versions competed with each other as far as people's popularity. There's what everybody perceives as the gold standard, and
Yeah.
but I thought What a first effort.
Oh well, if you consider that the one that most people consider to be the gold standard is less than 24 hours after this one,
Yeah.
you know.
How did they do that, though? How did they sit there and say, we're going to now take it a notch higher?
I don't know, because even the arrangement seems to have been tweaked ever so slightly.
Yeah.
It does, which says to me that between Elvis walking off the stage at, remember, the dinner shows, opening night was 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So dinner shows were 8 o'clock, midnight show, obviously midnight. So this was 10 o'clock. So between Elvis walking off the stage at round about midnight, because of course although the show starts at 10, Elvis wouldn't be on at 10. He'd be on a bit, probably quarter to 11 or so. So if Elvis walks off stage around about midnight, and he's got 20 hours between that and the dinner show, there must have been some discussion or some sort of rehearsal where they've tweaked it ever so slightly, and you get the perfection that comes 24 hours later.
Wow. It's just mystifying almost. First of all, it's a testament to their adaptability, and they're able to refine with great speed and intensity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think what's even more remarkable is that even if you had left that as it is, I don't think anybody would have bothered in the slightest.
No. It came out of the oven baked, and
yeah.
So they're taking something great and making it just a tinge greater.
Yeah.
Enough can't be said about that.
No, I think that's just testament to the perfectionist that Elvis was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. And do you notice too how, in a good way, this has gotten heavier as the set list has progressed? It felt very kind of little lighter, airy at first, and now we're diving in. So we're almost seeing like the evolution of Elvis in a way. I mean, it was entertaining, but now it's entertaining and artistically killer. You know?
Oh yeah, you can alluded to that a way back. Was it just before we did? I think it was just before we did. Yeah, it was just after we did. I just can't believe you could have mentioned something along the lines of that he'd got certain stuff out the way, and now we're starting to move. And I said to you, well, if that's what you think, wait till you see what's still to come.
Yeah.
And then you get Bridge Over Troubled Water now, which is, I mean, just any version of Elvis singing Bridge Over Troubled Water is just a treat.
Oh, wholeheartedly agree. It's just almost like too good when you think about it.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna ease our way into the the penultimate, I think. And I'm excited for this because, first of all, if this is anything like it was in rehearsal, stage rehearsal.
Well, do you remember when we did the Ronnie tribute? We did Patch It Up. We did that, which was the final live version. So that's from the 12th of August dinner show. So that's 2 days after this. This is the first of only 2 ever live renditions of the song.
Okay.
And now we've seen this before. The very first live stream we did was Elvis's birthday celebration back in January.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much you.
Well, we did the audio. Or, no, wait, we did this. Yeah, at that time.
Yeah, but how much you remember is another thing entirely.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just. But you know, it's funny. Sometimes it's cellular memory. Like, I might not be able to intellectually say something, but then I'll hear it and I go, okay, that feels different right there. Right there, that's a little different. So it's kind of like woven into your DNA, even, you know.
True. But now you also have it in context.
Yes. So I can't. Oh, man, here we go. Are you guys ready for this? Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4. We got to patch it up, baby, before we fall apart at the seams. We got to patch it up, baby. We can't let time unravel our dreams. Let's go back and touch the past. One more night is all I ask. Get that feeling, that old feeling, feel it here. got all the cobwebs of our hearts. Want to patch it up, baby, before indifference pulls us apart. Don't let a good love die. Let's give it just a one more try. With that feeling, that old feeling, feel it here. We got to patch it up, baby. We can patch it up, baby. We can patch it up, baby. Patch it up. With a whole lot of love. Oh, baby. Patch it up. With a whole lot of love. We got to patch it up, baby. We got to patch it up, baby. We can patch it up, baby. Patch it up with a whole lot of love. We got to patch it up, baby. We got to patch it up, baby. We got to patch it up, baby. Patch it up with a whole lot of love. We got to patch it up, baby. We can patch it up, baby, with a whole lot of love. Oh, we can patch it up, baby. We can patch it up, baby. We can patch it up, baby. Patch it up with a whole lot of love. Oh, patch it up, baby. Patch it up, baby. Patch it up, baby. Patch it up with a whole lot of
Here it comes.
Oh my God.
What an ending.
You're not kidding, man. Oh my God. That was just, oh wow. I mean, first of all, what's your thoughts on it?
I prefer the audio-wise and listening to. I prefer the one that we did last week when we did the Ronnie tribute.
Yeah.
This one, I prefer the ending.
Yes. You know, that's what I was thinking too, because you know what? Have you ever done that where you're like, they're hitting the stops, but something is just, because when we watched that last Sunday,
Yeah.
there was something like a little more thunderous than this, I guess. But the ending, of course, yeah, that's why I say sometimes with each version, there's pros and cons.
Well, do you know what? It's funny because I think what you've done, you've kind of hit the same sort of spot that Elvis, or same conclusion that Elvis came to. Patch It Up was supposed to replace Suspicious Minds in the set list for this whole engagement. And having just recorded it in Nashville, and the live version and the studio version are almost like two completely different songs. They're just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I think after this, Elvis kind of realised this isn't going to work as well as I thought it was going to. So by the next show, Suspicious Minds was back, and then the second and final version of Patch It Up that Elvis did, the one we did last week in the Ronnie tribute, was shunted to the middle of the show rather than at the end. So I think Elvis himself realised that something, it wasn't going to work as well on stage as he thought it was, and I think you've kind of hit. I think he's probably hit that conclusion on the first version, and although they improved it for the second time, I think by that time Elvis had already made his mind up.
You know what though? I think this works though, is like if you were to do it before like an intermission or something, or not intermission, but midway point before you introduce the bands, it has that perfect finale feel to it. And
you mean the kind of Pope Saladani sort of
Yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Still, just his. Think about getting to his head that, you got to do that like twice in one night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he did that back then. I just.
He must have been practicing his yoga before for that ending. That's for sure.
Man, you're not kidding. I mean, this is just. So also everybody out there, I can't wait to dive in and see what you guys had to think throughout the duration of this presentation. And I want to, before we kind of get into the finale of this, I want to thank everybody ahead of time for that sticking with us. I'm sure it wasn't like twisting your arm at the same time, but you're with Elvis, that's never really a punishment anywhere, and but thank you so much, the kindness that you bestowed to Leon and myself. I've been really a great audience, and it's such I know I can speak for Leon. It is a sheer pleasure presenting this for you guys. It really is.
So we are going to do all 6 of the That's the Way It Is shows. So we've done the first one now. So what Brent's going to do is Brent's going to run a poll on his community tab on his channel, and he's going to ask you guys out there if you want us to do this either every 4, 6 or 8 weeks. So it's entirely up to you guys how often you want us to do this. So the next show we'll do will be Elvis's second show.
Keep in mind though that like 4 weeks, there's pros and cons. Like okay, like 4 weeks, so like 8 weeks from now would be like right before Christmas. Some could see that as a present,
Well, obviously we'd have to tweak it.
Of course, we'd probably do it on the 19th or something like that. Yeah,
absolutely.
No, it's going to be a Christmas Day broadcast. Forget your family. We want you here. Screw the kids. Screw the grandmothers. Forget everybody. Just be here. We're more important. So that's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next show will be the 11th of August dinner show.
Yeah.
And that's show 2, and that features the RCA master of I Just Can't Help Believing, the That's the Way It Is version of You've Lost That Loving Feeling, the RCA master version of I've Lost You. So it's up to you guys when you want us to do that. So Brent will put the poll up, and then Brent, you're going to be on vacation for a couple of weeks, aren't you?
Yeah, almost like 2 weeks. After this Thursday's thing, I forgot the dates I said, but it's going to be like a week and a half. But Leon already got me another presentation. So the only thing that'll be missing during that time is not this one, but the next one. I won't be there Thursday for the live stream. If anybody wants to step in and do it, hint, sign up. But what I'm going to do though is I'm going on a recording frenzy these next couple days, because there'll still be uploads every day. It won't even be like I'm gone. You know what I mean? So I try not to have any disruptions in programming. So there'll be stuff, and we're done with the Elvis Nation show. So it's a little lighter part of the season before we do season 2. So I'll have some of that stuff up. But next week I'll have we're going back to the soundtrack series with Viva Las Vegas. And then Leon, what do we got for the week after that?
Week after that, we have it'll be another the first take to the master of The Next Step Is Love.
See, so there'll be plenty to keep yourself busy with the big enchilada missing in action. So Leon, I want to thank you. We're going to just close out with this final number, because make it feel more like the authentic concert instead of have us babble for 20 minutes after it. So Leon, thank you so much for putting this awesome presentation together, and I couldn't ask for a better person to join me on streaming. This is great.
Yeah. And thank you to everybody for showing up tonight and listening to us rabble.
All right, everybody, we're going to take it home. Let's do it.
You're a beautiful audience, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very, very much. Wise men say only fools rush in. Oh, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things you know are meant to be.